Good day, good people. My name is Kaba Sekwele and I am an online math tutor here to help young children turn their struggles into their successes. At some point in your child's math journey, they are going to come across a question or a math topic that just doesn't make any sense to them. So what is the one quality that your child is going to need to stop them from giving up, or to stop them from just thinking that there's no way they're going to be able to understand this new topic? You guessed it, it's grit, or what others might call perseverance. It really doesn't matter what the situation is. Let's say they're trying to change the way they study. I always talk about this often. Instead of them focusing on methods and techniques, now they're trying to focus more on understanding what they're learning in mathematics. That transition can be a challenge. And in order for your child to not give up, they are going to need grit. Or even if they are in a stage where they are focusing on the theory of mathematics, but they struggle with those very challenging questions that really need them to think out of the box. In order to keep going, they're going to need perseverance. It doesn't matter what stage in mathematics your child is in. To continue growing in mathematics, they will need to keep pushing through quite a few phases in their math journey that feel like a brick wall. But the one thing that's going to keep them going is perseverance. It's grit. So now the question is, what can they do to keep fueling that perseverance? I'm going to share with you what stopped me from giving up when I was still a young child trying to figure out my math. Now, to adopt a certain habit or certain pattern of behavior, there's a certain way in which you need to think, certain things that you need to believe, wholeheartedly believe. I call them principles. They keep you going even when you're tired and even when you want to stop. The first principle: just because you do not understand it right now does not mean it cannot be understood. You just don't understand it yet. I cannot tell you how many times this one fact of life fuels me whenever I feel like I've come across another brick wall in mathematics. The truth is that mathematics makes sense. Mathematics has logic and it has order. It doesn't just come out of nowhere. Now, because it has logic and order and sense, this means that it can be understood, which then means that your child can understand it. There's just a small piece of the puzzle that your child hasn't figured out yet, but they will only figure it out once they keep doing the work that they need to be doing. There were times where I was in the 11th grade, I would realize that I'm not figuring something out, and I would get frustrated so much to a point where I would start crying. I knew I wasn't going to sleep until I had figured it out. Giving up was not an option. So I would sit there and I would cry for 10 to 15 minutes, and then I would go back, do my research, try my best to figure it out, and then finally something would just click. Something finally made sense. Only then was I able to finish my homework and then go to bed. But I would never have done that if my belief was not that math makes sense. I wouldn't keep going if I didn't believe that I could at some point figure the concept out. There is nothing more discouraging than trying to figure something out when you think that there is a chance that you're never going to be able to understand it. Eventually you'll just give up. But when you know that the opposite is true, when you know that you will eventually figure it out if you just keep going, and if you just keep studying and keep trying to figure it out, the chances of you stopping are very slim. So your child needs to develop that mindset. Your child needs to understand that you are going to figure it out eventually. Just do the correct research. If they don't stop, eventually they'll figure it out because there is sense and logic to the subject. There's no way you will not be able to figure it out because the subject has sense. It might take time and it might be challenging, but it is definitely not impossible. The second principle that kept me going was knowing that if I figure it out right now during the homework phase, I will never struggle with this concept ever again. I'll never struggle with it during test season. I won't struggle with it during exam season. Once I figure it out now, that's it for the rest of my journey in mathematics. So with that mindset, I just kept going. And instead of having to study during my exam season, all I needed to do was to revise. So because I did that with all the different parts of mathematics, during exam season, I didn't have to study for mathematics. All I needed to do was to revise mathematics and do practice questions. But I didn't have to learn new concepts when it was, truthfully, a bit too late to do so. It's too late to try and understand something during exam season. You don't have enough time to really sit and delve in the topic and try and understand the topic. So the future prospect of not having to worry during the exam season is really what kept me going. And it stopped me from wanting to stop. And those are the two mindsets that I had adopted. Now, your child can have different ways of fueling their grit and their perseverance, which is perfectly fine as long as they keep fueling it. Because the truth is, grit, perseverance, that is a quality that they are going to need. Not just in mathematics, but life in general. So if your child can make it a goal to study mathematics with the aim of understanding it. And if they can keep going, even when it is very challenging to do so, they will do very well in mathematics. Parents, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video with me. If you would like your child to learn how to study mathematics and how to understand the subject, I have a detailed course that teaches exactly that. So please go ahead to my website and schedule a free consultation with me, or you can watch this video, I will link it up here, just to learn more about the course. Thank you so much for your time. I will see you in the next video.